Good evening. I am live. Okay, I can see what's going on now. Fantastic. Fantastic. So, okay, I want to welcome everybody to the Ron Pertee Show live. I'm sorry for any of the issues that we may have just had here a little bit ago. You're all lovely for watching, and I do appreciate you for watching. And if you are watching this later, stop by. I'll be making it known when live shows are going to be happening, and they will later go up on the regular page. And we're gonna and you can watch if you're watching. So who put that in my mouth? Anyway, so if you're watching this later, be sure to follow my social medias, which are right there. And I will be letting people know when I'm going to be going live more often. I'm working out some kinks with this. I hope everything is working okay. Everything's good. Everything sounds good, looks good, etc. At all. Let's see. Oh, looks like I'm okay. So anyway, we're going to talk about a couple of things here on the inaugural live YouTube show here. Also, get it out of the way. Don't forget to subscribe and to like and to share and to leave comments on all my videos because I will read them all. I will. I don't have much going on. So, I mean, I could be in Kenosha with a cat and a gorgeous woman, but here I am. Why would I want to do that? I'm here streaming. Anywho, so we got a lot of stuff to cover tonight. We're going to be talking about Hereditary, that new movie that just came out. Very divisive movie, very polarizing. A lot of people don't like it, but a lot of people are wrong, and I'll tell you why in a little bit later on in the show. We're also going to talk about what's going on with Stan Lee. It's reaching to the point where people I know who aren't comic book fans are asking me what's going on, like what's going on with Stan Lee, and Ron, you're a nerd. What did you do to him? No, it wasn't me. But anyway, so we're going to be talking about that in a little bit. But first, we kind of have to cover King Nerd. We have to talk about Chris Hardwick. It's the elephant in the room wearing a skinny tie, recording a podcast. It came out this morning. Chloe Dykstra, his ex-girlfriend, wrote a very scathing Medium post, and I think that we all need to take stock of that. And a lot of people now, since the post came out, have been saying that he's a garbage human being. Myself and Conan Neutron have been saying that for years, but that's okay. No, the point is that he's no longer attached to Nerdist, from what I gather. Legendary has kind of cut ties with him, so there's that. But then you have to wonder what's going to happen, because I know he has he's got this deal with Blumhouse for making movies. I'm wondering if that's going to get pulled. And apparently in the podcast episode of Nerdist where Jason Blum is on, they are doing nothing but getting their noses all full of brown Weinstein stuff. So it's kind of hard to listen to. But I wonder if that's going to go away. I'm wondering if the talking shows are going to go away. You know, Talking Dead and Talking Badlands and Talking Comic Book Men. You know, there's just too many talking shows. But yeah, so that's yet to happen. And pardon me, they are not a sponsor. But if you'd like to help out the show, go to that patreon.com link and see if you can throw a couple shekels there. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to his Twitter, because the minute I read it, the Chloe Dykstra article, I went to his Twitter and I went to look to see what was going on. Oh, and there it is right there. He hasn't posted anything since yesterday when he's promoting the fact that Donald Glover is going to be on his new show, Talking Hardwick. Well, we're talking Hardwick right now, so yeah. And I was just informed I should be drinking water, not Coke Zero, but I also have to stay alive and lively for all you lovely, lovely people. So we don't know what's going to happen with that. Let me see if there's anything breaking in the world of hard flip. And from what I understand, I mean, it was bad. From what I understand, Chloe Dykstra had to. She's taking a leave of absence from social media. She was told. I mean, basically, she was, for all intents and purposes, and I'm paraphrasing here, she was basically told not to speak unless spoken to, and things of that ilk. And apparently, the abuse went on for 3 years, which it shouldn't have gone on for 3 days or 3 hours. It's crap. I'm trying to see. There's other people who came out against him, because I know Nerdist was sold to Legendary back in 2012. And I'm on good terms with some people over there, and I don't want people hearing what I'm saying and going over to Nerdist and saying, what the hell, because it has nothing to do with him. This is all so Nerdist disavowed him. Scott Weinberg said, as of today, I no longer write for Nerdist. The editorial staff is absolutely fantastic, but I don't want my work or name affiliated in any way with Chris Hardwick. Let's see here. This person said they write for Nerdist, and that Chris Hardwick is a piece of trash. Let's see. Yeah, he hasn't made any public statements yet, but apparently, from what I understand, he's got that Hearst money now. So we'll see how long that lasts. I can't fathom. I mean, I don't know. You think, and what? Okay, here was my issue with Chris Hardwick before all of this happened. Just to preface that I never liked the guy to begin with. He was not a Doctor Who fan, and I know this is so petty and so crappy of me, but he wasn't a Doctor Who fan for the longest time. At some points, I even remember him saying he didn't get it, which is fine. Just don't get it. Don't be a Doctor Who fan. But then he started watching it, and I don't know if it was because he was offered a job by BBC America, which could be the case, because if I was offered a job to host something, I would definitely watch it and bone up on it, and get to know what's going on. That's just me. But he all of a sudden became this huge Doctor Who fan, and he was this big quote-unquote authority, and when you talk to him, you get this feeling like you don't know if he knows anything about the older episodes. And that's fine, but don't act like you're the authority on everything. Don't act like you know everything if you don't. And then this came out, and it's just. I mean, I would only listen to the Nerdist podcast and then the Idiot podcast. Or, I'm sorry, ID 10 or whatever, T or whatever. I don't know what it's Idiot, which is case in point because he's an idiot. I would only listen to it when there was a guest on that I wanted to hear, like a Nick Offerman, or a Kevin Smith, or a Mark Maron, or people like that. I listened to the Alan Alda episode because it's Alan Alda, for crying out loud. You can't not listen to something with Alan Alda. He's Hawkeye Pierce. You bastards. But, so, I mean, my exposure to him was mainly after things that I loved on AMC. He made Walking Dead worse for me with a show after. It's like, let me soak in everything that I just watched. I don't need to have you tell me what I just watched, or tell me how I'm supposed to feel about what I just watched. So that's just, and then he did it with Breaking Bad, and then he's doing it with Better Call Saul, and it's just, I mean, come on. I mean, I don't get why people watch those shows. I don't. Isn't that what the internet's for? Going on Twitter and complaining, and then watching my headphones fall? But no, isn't that what the internet's for? What do you need to go on there for? Watch that crap. But anyway, so keep an eye out for the Ron Pertee show at some point. I'm not sure where we're going with this, if we're going to do it semi-daily, or if we're going to do it once a week, or whatnot. But yeah, so just kind of keep an eye out, and if there's any kind of updates, we'll talk about it on the program. We have a lot of other stuff to cover, and I think we should get right to that. Mainly, we're going to talk about Stan Lee. Now, if you don't know who Stan Lee is, I'd ask you to please kindly come out from underneath your rock. Because the man is the creator or co-creator of dozens of iconic characters like like Iron Man and the X-Men and Hulk and Spider-Man and a yawn. Oh, Jesus mercy. Anyway, so he's like this iconic. I mean, and if you've seen a Marvel movie, he's been in it. He cut Thor's hair. If that's the last time we... Well, no, he was in Infinity War. But, for the longest time, there has been a rumbling that there's something bad going on with Stan Lee, that something is amiss when it comes to the great and powerful one who created Marvel Comics. Now, when you start thinking about Stan Lee, you start thinking about things that have happened in the past, about like his fight with Jack Kirby and his fight with Steve Ditko and people like that, and how he kind of took the front stage for Marvel and really kind of took control and became the figurehead and left people like Kirby and Ditko on the sidelines. But that being said, you have to kind of look past that stuff when it comes to the stuff that's going on now, because the man is in his early 90s, I think 93-ish, and all of a sudden you start hearing about, after his wife died, about how, oh, well, what's going on here? First, what's going on with my hair? Second, what's going on? I mean, his longtime right-hand man, Max, is gone. He was like a gutter punk, basically, but he was right there on Stan's right hand, and he would make sure that everything was okay. He gets fired, and these weird people who have connections to his daughter come into play, and they're taking care of everything. And it's just, it got really messy, and you had people like Neil Adams and J. Scott Campbell and Kevin Smith and James Gunn were all reaching out to Stan. What's going on with you, sir? What's going on? You gotta let us know here. Do you need help? And of course, people were saying, no, he's fine. But then there was some video that came out of Stan. Oh God, a yawn ago. I don't get why I'm yawning. I know. More of this non-sponsor soda. Anywho, Max is gone, and these people who are connected to his daughter, who wanted more money from her trust fund to begin with, started really kind of latching onto him, and money started disappearing, and people didn't have access to him, and things like that. And then finally, I think the last straw was when there was video of Stan at a convention, and someone standing over him, telling him how to sign his name, and he looked like he was all hunched over, and he looked like a shell of his former self, and it was heartbreaking. It was just heartbreaking, and I felt really bad. But then finally, we have news here. This is courtesy of CNN.com. He's been granted a temporary restraining order against Kia Morgan, who was his caregiver. The order was issued Wednesday, and a petition was filed in support of the order. States that Kia Morgan, a memorabilia collector, just saying, who has been acting as Lee's caretaker, and yeah, they put the quotes, not just me, was taking advantage of Lee ever since his wife Joan Lee died last year, which is kind of the case with him, because when his wife died, he kind of lost everything. She was it for him. He and his daughter have been estranged for a long time, still probably are estranged. So, petitioner, along with law enforcement and adult protective services, believes that Mr. Morgan is unduly influencing Mr. Lee and isolating him, and that's from a petition filed by Lee's former attorney, Tom Lallis. The temporary order bans Morgan from abusing, harassing, or contacting Lee and requires him to stay at least 100 yards away. Okay, now here's with the wording with this. It bans him from abusing and harassing him. Isn't that the point of it? A restraining order to begin with? Do you have to get that deep into? I mean, are we not? Are we dumb? Did we forget to take our brain medicine? CNN reached out to Morgan for a comment and in a statement to TMZ because, nowadays, if you want reputable information, let's head right over to TMZ. Morgan denied the allegations and said, "I have taken great care of Stan Lee for the past many years and have never had a problem directly with Stan." Maybe because you were making him do things he didn't want to do. "I have a fantastic relationship with him for the past many years, as he stated countless times on the record, and I literally saved his life once." Because you wouldn't want that money to go away, would you? Morgan told TMZ, "I will 100% prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that the allegations against me are false." There's a video of Stan. This is getting weird. This is just so... It's confusing. Lee put out a video, and the court's decision came after Lee posted a video on Sunday stating that he and Morgan were business partners. And the tweet says, there's a quote on the bottom of it, "My only partner and business manager is Kia Morgan, not all the other people making false claims." Now, Morgan was arrested on Monday for allegedly making a false police report. Los Angeles police were performing a welfare check at Lee's residence on May 30th when, according to court documents, Morgan arrived at the scene and dialed 911 to falsely report unidentified people had gone into Lee's home. The call prompted 8 police units and a helicopter to arrive at the scene. A hearing in the case is scheduled for next month. So, it's like, that sounds like an act of a desperate man when he sees people coming in the house that are, there for a health and welfare check, and he calls the cops on them. So, and just look at this picture of Stan. Look at him. It's a video, but I'm not going to play the video. But look at him. He looks old. He looks like he's being propped up by something. And it just... It kind of breaks my heart. Even if I am a big DC guy now. But Stan still has a lot that he offered the comic book world. And... it just bugs me, and I think it bugs most comic book fans. But there's that. So stay tuned to the program for more updates on what's going on with Godfather of Marvel Comics. Now we're going to move into Hereditary, which was a movie that I saw last Friday, and it's still kind of stuck up in my brain head. It boggled my mind. It starts off super slow for me, but then something happens that I won't spoil because you have to go see this movie. You have to. It's better to be seen than have it explained to you. But there's first sixth of the movie, I guess, is kind of slow, and then something happens that kind of catches you and knocks you right into it, and you're stuck throughout the rest of the movie. And it's how do I put this? It's a slow burn. It's not, if you're going into this looking for jump scares and something like The Conjuring, this movie makes The Conjuring look like a daycare center. If that gives you any kind of explanation. This movie is, it's a slow burn, it's atmospheric, and it creates a tension, and it sits in your gut. I guess it draws from stuff like The Exorcist, The Shining, Rosemary's Baby, really kind of hardcore, slow burn horror movies that don't have something super scary happening every 15 minutes because that's where the beats have to be for modern horror. What's driving me crazy is people who were at the screening I went to. One person got up and thought he was being funny and said, "Oh, I want my money back. That was horrible. It was the worst movie I ever saw." Is it because you thought maybe you should be in Unfriended 2 Dark Web? That's not the kind of movie this is. This is something that's serious. It has an amazing underlying metaphor during the course of the film about family and familial issues that just kind of manifest the way that they do, and it's something that's neat. You need to see to believe. You really do. And to anyone who's out there saying that it's just horrible because it's slow, that's the best kind of horror. The slow, kind of creepy, unsettling kind of horror is the best kind of horror. I mean, sure, every kind of horror has its place. You know, there's room for Jason slicing a counselor in half. There's room for The Conjuring and Insidious, and yes, even room for movies like Unfriended and things like that. But to say that this is bad, this is the way horror was back then, and it's the way it should be. It should be unsettling. It should stick with you. You know, when I go see a movie like The Conjuring, I love The Conjuring. It's a great movie. Don't get me wrong, but when I leave the movie, I talk about it for a few minutes with whoever I went to go see it with, and then that's pretty much it. I'll tell a couple people, "Oh, this movie was great." I might do a review. "Oh yeah, go see the Conjuring. It was awesome." Blah blah blah. Lily Taylor, you know, Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. Yay, James Wan. But nothing, no horror film has hit me like this. That has stayed with me, and I'm still trying to think of, you know, of little bits in the movie. How ants were crawling. Oh, it's just there. There, I can't put into words how amazing this movie is. So if you haven't seen it, please avoid any kind of spoilers. Avoid Cinema Score giving it a D plus or D minus or whatever. Go into this knowing that a lot of horror fans and a lot of critics that you can respect and you can trust love this movie. So go take their word for it. And I know there are people out there who are like, "Oh, I don't want to take the word of a critic. I can't take the word of a critic." Okay, fine. Take my word for it. I've made horror films. I know how to make a horror film. And I honestly don't think I've used a jump scare once. I have to think. No, I've never used a jump scare once. So, I mean, that just says something right there. If I'm saying go see this movie, it's a ringing endorsement. And a lot of the people that I know who are horror fans, like they're really like horror is their thing. You know, not just people who are like, "Oh, if there's a horror movie, I'm gonna go see it." You know, um, those people probably won't get the movie. They won't appreciate it. So that's my 2 cents on Hereditary. I really think you all need to go out and see it, unless you are scared and you need your boyfriend with you or your girlfriend, because who am I here to gender identify anyone? Just saying. There's a lot of cool stuff coming up in pop culture. The big day is coming, and that's July 4th. It's kind of a weird thing because Batman and Catwoman are getting married on July 4th, and that's our country's birthday. And it's... How many comic shops are going to be open on July 4th for people to pick up Batman 50 and watch their wedding? I will say this, though. There has been some amazing lead up to the wedding. There's a comic out now. You can probably find it anywhere. 25 cents, called DC Nation number 0. There's a Joker story where the Joker goes to a guy's house waiting for his Invitation to Batman and Catwoman's wedding. And that's all I'm going to say. You have to read it. It's Tom King is the best writer in comics today, from Batman to Mr. Miracle. If you haven't read Sheriff of Babylon, read Sheriff of Babylon. It's amazing. You can get the trades cheap on Amazon. So that there's that. What else is coming up? Oh, no, again on July 4th, the first Purge is hitting cinemas. I understand. That's more of a marketing thing, and I don't know how many people are going to the movies on July 4th. It's kind of a weird day to go to the movies. Maybe, I don't know. But so there's that, and then there's also it was just announced at San Diego Comic-Con they will be debuting the Aquaman trailer. So if you are anxious for Jason Momoa, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. All I do know is that I saw Rob G from Shockwaves has a copy. Is it Rob G? Or somebody? Somebody has a copy. I was on the internet, as you do, and Last House on the Left is put out through Arrow. If you haven't seen that, check that out. That is one of the most disturbing films you'll see, because it feels real. You know, it feels like what you're watching is really happening, because it's real people that you can identify with, and it's spooky town, basically, is what it is. So there's that. So I want to thank everybody who's watching, and everybody who is watching it later. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram right here at RealRonPerT. And if you enjoy this show or any of the other videos that I've done, if you like this live show, please let me know, because it'll lead to whether or not I do more. Plain and simple. I'm trying to create more shows and more content and all sorts of cool stuff, but I need feedback from people. I need people to tell me, hey, that was really fun, or hey, that didn't work so well, or etc. etc. So I'm going to be creating you're going to have a bunch of different shows coming out here from me in the near future that are going to be different. Like there's going to be one where it's me and somebody talking about a movie, or me and somebody talking about whatever, or that kind of thing. So and then there's going to be the comedy videos and the vlogs and all sorts of cool stuff. So definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I would really appreciate it. Give it a thumbs up. And next to that subscribe, there's a little ding, a little bell. You get notified when a new video goes up. So that's important, because I don't know what's going on with algorithms and all this other stuff. But so yeah, be sure to do all that stuff. And then if you like the show, even further below my Twitter and Instagram right here, patreon.com/RonPerT. Even $1 or $2 a month helps keep things going. I can upgrade equipment more, get space to make videos in, and make them better. Yeah, so there's that. And I just want to say real quick, before I go, and before he goes, after what happened with Dennis from driving me crazy and his laptop, and how the community came together to get him a new one, it really kind of warmed my heart. And if you know me, I've got a dead one, because it kind of showed that, and this is the kind of thing you wouldn't get in the podcast world. As much as I love doing podcasts, you wouldn't get that kind of thing on a podcast. You get this here because this is a community. Despite them taking away partnership from people and taking away money from people and hiding videos, we're all in this together. We're all creatives, and we're all doing this because we love to do it. And that was nice that he had a new laptop, because the community helped support him. So that I loved. So hit me up on the social medias. Let me know what's going on. Patreon.com/RonPerT if you liked it. And I will see you next time.